Hey, hey, hey. Who's in there? Is that Miss Beverly? How you doing, Miss Beverly? Let's see, is that you? Yep. Boy, it's a little chilly this evening, family. It's a little chilly this evening. But I just wanted to come here and talk a little bit tonight with y'all about the term Africa. Shout out to Brother Sarnetta, man. That was a great show. Great show. And I enjoyed listening to the crazy callers, some of the callers. Some of the callers were right on the money, man. But some of the brothers, emotional, boy, them Aboriginal cats is more emotional than the flat earth people. My goodness. I wonder who's more brainwashed, family. Flat earth or the Aboriginal people? Who's more brainwashed, family? What y'all think? Aboriginals, these new Negroes, or the flat earth? Who's more crazy? Who's more scarred? Who hate themselves the most? The flat earth people or the Aboriginal folk? These Mex-Aboriginals, I call them. Mex-Aboriginals. Hey, Miss Beverly, I took my meds and turned the AC on. Feeling better. Don't want to give Georgia Power my money, but that's what it is. You got to do what you got to do. I feel you, for real. Good work. Sunlight and Shalom. I'm hard-headed, but I pick out good pieces. Being hard-headed is a good thing. I mean, shit. Being hard-headed is not being stiff-necked, family. So don't trip them. Everybody need to be a little hard-headed, especially with this world we live in. Yeah, being hard-headed is a strength. And that's what I wish to you, strength. Indeed, Sunlight. But yeah, let's discuss it a little bit, family. Let's talk about it a little bit. Like I said, shout out to the brother Sarnetta. Very good show, man. Very good show. And like I told y'all talking about bias. Some of these people talking about bias. Every view in the community was heard on the brother show. He even gave the crazy people a voice. You know what I mean? Amir El Bay, what's happening? Peace, peace, peace to you. Peace indeed to you, more. Yeah, so the people that talk about Sarnetta's platform, family. Yeah, he biased, but all of the nutcases get to talk about, throwing away their culture and throwing themselves away. Y'all like, share, and subscribe because this will probably be good too. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what the ancestors, the great spirit of the ages, and nature, what it brings out of this conversation. Let's see. Like, share, and subscribe. RBG Hebrew 2 and RBG Hebrew 4 Live, family. Don't forget about that channel. And follow me on Instagram, Edwards Michael 3447. Now, and we getting back on part 6 and 7 of our series. We'll start on part 6 tomorrow night, and part 7 we'll probably do it the next night after that. But I just wanted to come have this little conversation with y'all and talk about these few things, man. Shout out to y'all, all of y'all that came back from earlier. I hope that y'all being blessed by the information that you get from this platform. And I'm telling y'all, some of this stuff, please don't go off and run off and strangle yourself with. I heard some of the people today. You ain't heard Turtle Island spoken or uttered in the conscious community ever. Not even out of these Aboriginal Negroes until the information trickled down this morning. And somebody told somebody that I said Anawarkawa Kianote Googles as Ding Turtle Island. I told y'all what the natives, the so-called natives, called this place. And they took that information and went out and smeared it on themselves as their origin. They from Turtle Island now. You got something new and ran off and choked yourself with it. See? And that's why I put that information out there. Because I'm not no Aboriginal Negro. I'm not. I'm black. Y'all can, y'all can throw away your heritage, whatever you want to be Mexican, if you want to. But I studied what the Spanish Inquisition did to Mexico and those people you call Native Americans. The Spanish Inquisition is something that is not being studied by all of these Aboriginal nuts. If you study the Spanish Inquisition, you'll study and you'll understand why there are Mexicans. Yeah. You'll understand why there are Puerto Ricans. All the places where y'all say you're indigenous to, I said have been conquered. And you're not indigenous to that place. Your thoughts and your words prove the conquer. And ain't nobody fighting with Puerto Ricans saying don't call yourself Puerto Rican. Ain't nobody fighting with Mexicans saying don't call yourself Mexicans. The Mexicans say we're Mexican. Mexico. Mexico. The Puerto Ricans love being fat pigs and shit, rich pork and whatnot and all the other dumb shit. They love being destroyed by the Catholic Church and speaking the wrong Vulgate. You can't go to Puerto Rico and tell them, call yourself indigenous. They're going to tell you, Puerto Rico. You can't go to the Dominican and tell them, call yourself indigenous. They're going to tell you, no, Dominica. But you Negroes, you tell you, call yourself African. No, we ain't from Africa. African is Scipios Africanus. It's the reason why Africa's named that. But I said the Mexican ain't fighting where he is and what he is. The Puerto Rican ain't fighting where he is and what he is. But you fight the truth that is prime. Watch this. But there were native before Mexican. They were not native, family. I'm going to prove it. We're going to get into the lesson. I'm not disagreeing with what. So, watch this. This is going to trip you. And this is Crafts and Cooper. What's happening? Thank you. Shalom. Great. Thank you for coming. And I am you. Thank you for coming. Amir Bey. Yeah. Watch this, y'all. I deal with the Hebrew deeply. And we've been trying to encourage all of our people to at least venture into one of our ancient subcultural languages. Okay? If you don't want to accept yourself, at least learn something about linguistics that's a part of your root, that's away from this continent. But watch this. I was on Side Another Show and I was talking about Africa, right? Now, this is what miniature logic does to you, family. A caller that couldn't challenge the information that I gave took a shot at a word that not only I spoke, but he spoke. Am I speaking in English right now to y'all? If I start speaking in Hebrew, and is it not true that you're not going to understand me if you don't know that language and ain't been trained? So if we're speaking English, and we are speaking English, goddamn, if we're talking about that continent known as Africa, with Africanus, Scipio Africanus, or whatever this hunky name is, or whatever, with or without him, with or without his exploits and his conquering, would it still not be the same goddamn place? You can call it toothpaste. I say you can call Africa hamburger. You can call Africa ball sack. That's not going to change the continent and the geographic place that we're talking about. Am I right or wrong? Amen to those that have common sense. So, If you have a way of speaking that you represent and you teach it to your children and you excel in it in school, why is it that you reject it when the truth comes that you are what that continent conveys? Huh? What you call it? What you call it? What you Aboriginal people? What you call mama? What you call Africa? Huh? What's your new name? Because all of the miniature logic and all of the running around and the, semantics bullshit is not going to hurt or help your cause as being a lost motherfucker. Excuse me. El Jabbar says, what you're saying, RBG Hebrew, we're not Aboriginals. I'm going to prove to you that you're not an Aboriginal. And that word is equivalent to calling yourself nigger. Why? Because you can't be satisfied in thousands of years, even with a whole continent, even with transit, migration, and slavery, even with rehoming, you're not satisfied. Do you not realize that the white man didn't call you African American? You called yourself that. Did you realize the white man didn't call you black? You called yourself that. But do you not realize that all of the people that call themselves Aboriginal historically are not you? Aboriginal to where? Let's take Mexico. Let's take the definition of Aboriginal. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Ehud McCarthy, peace to you. Let's deal with the definition of Aboriginal, okay? Now, we're going to read, let's see which one is this. I'm using Merriam-Webster, right? The definition of Aboriginal, the first one says, being the first or earliest known of its kind present in a region. Right? Let's say that again so you can grasp it in your mind. Being the first or earliest known of its kind present in a region. That's Aboriginal. Does that mean that you were made there? No. Listen, Christopher Columbus and all of the fakery that goes along with that claimed to be Aboriginal. Why? Because they claimed to be first. How is it that prime humanity can claim or demote itself to being first when first should actually be considered second? If you're the creator, are you going to call yourself your son? That's going too deep for y'all. Wait, let's back up. Let's go back again. Let's read the definition of Aboriginal. Being the first, Turtle Island. I told them not to kill themselves with that shit. And I told them nobody was talking about Turtle Island before 48 hours ago when I told them about Anawarkawa and the Mohawk and what that place yields when you Google the word Anawarkawa Kianote. They don't give you a definition of Anawarkawa. They give you Turtle Island. And I told them if that's what you calling yourself indigenous to, you're tripping. Because you and every white nation around this world have called themselves indigenous to here. What's first? First only means that you came from somewhere else. If you're first to a known region, that means you came from somewhere else. Not necessarily born there or made there, created there. Track with me. Show me, and I got with me here what the pseudo scholars hate. This is an anthropology book. I asked a question. Oh, I'm going to show you how accurate, Jabbar. I asked a question in Sinetta's chat and on his show when I called in. I said, what's the earliest known specimen Aboriginal to this continent? How old is it? Jabbar, if I'm inaccurate, tell me the answer to that question, G. And watch how wrong you are as relates to the age of your genetic. Watch. This shit is crazy. But it's real tight. You dig it? I asked the question. You said inaccurate or not accurate? No. Okay. You want me to go back through all of it again, brother? Let me give you the question again. All right? Because the actual definition is common if you think about it. Here's the definition again. I'll read it for you again. Listen to it. Watch this. I'm reading Lewis Morgan Anthropology Works. You should get with Clark Spencer Larson. Because I can surely tell you that this book that I showed you is a little bit more recent. But your book, I'm not saying that it's worthless, but I want you to hear this. The definition of Aboriginal, so says Merriam-Webster. The first definition is being the first of earliest known of its kind present in a region. Operative words: first, earliest, and known. Linguistics means something, right? You can't just throw these words down here and they mean nothing, right? Now, okay, just slow down with your comments, family. Just listen. Because if you disagree, then you'll see that something is wrong with your equation, okay? Because I'm not going to tell you nothing that you should disagree with. Do you disagree with this definition? Yes or no? Don't drink that. Aboriginal being the first or earliest known of its kind present in a region. Do you agree? No. We're not going to go to the Olmecs yet. See, that's why y'all miss real points. You're going too fast. Okay, yes or no? Do you agree with the Aboriginal definition? IMU agrees. El Jabbar, do you agree that this definition is proper? Is it acceptable? Yes or no, brother? Okay, now let's stop right there so we can get a consensus. We all agree that this definition is right, or at least accurate. Let's lift its operative words. Listen. First, earliest, known, kind, region. Now listen to me, brother. Does first mean prime? Yes or no? PRIME. Does first mean prime? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Prime denotes creator. If I tell you, brother, that the color wheel, the primary colors, what are your primary colors? Red, blue, and yellow, right? Where do those colors come from? They're called primary or first, and then you got secondary colors when you mix them. Okay, I know what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So being Aboriginal does not necessarily mean prime. Okay? Prime and Aboriginal are two different, abstractly different things. Prime means that you were here when the matter was. Prime, as relates to your genetics, would mean that the earth was made for you and not you for the earth. Track with me. Being the first or earliest known of its kind present in a region. That doesn't mean that you were prime. It says of a known region. The word known even inserts another mode of thought in the definition. Listen to me. Look at him. Let's see. That don't make sense, fam. I'm sorry. I'll say it again to you, all right? Let's say it one more time. Because I'm not going to move from this till you understand that. The definition says first, let me get it open for you. I'm going to let you read it. The definition, family, Let's open it up again for the brothers. He said that don't make sense. God damn, my brother. Let's open up the thing again. Damn, can't pull up the picture again. Okay. Okay, first to a region. First to a known region, bro. What does the word to mean to you? Does that denote a pre-existing origin? Mm-mm-mm. If prime is not earliest known or first, then what is? I said prime is first. Aboriginal is not. Aboriginal is simply first to an area, known, a region. Are y'all tracking with me? Prime can be that which creates all of those that are called Aboriginal, first to a region. Let me show you what I mean by that. Your out of Africa theory, right? At its base, it relates that all life forms, all human forms, emit from Africa. Can we agree on that? Hold on, brother. I mean, come on. Just get with me. Can we agree on the base root fundamental theory of that out of Africa thing is that all life actually emits from Africa? They just found in Israel a jawbone, right? And the white folks going to try to spin this, but listen to what I'm telling you. The jawbone they found in Israel does not mean that that person was neither born in Israel nor first in Israel. What does the actual theory state as relates to this new find and this old jawbone? It simply states that the people migrating to that region left Africa earlier than they actually previously believed. The theory does not postulate that they originate in Israel. That's what y'all are fucking up. You see? I'm going to say that to you one more time. Not Morocco, not Ethiopia, which have previously some of the oldest specimens on Earth. They found a new one, a piece of a jawbone in Israel. That jawbone does not neither prove that that person was Aboriginal, as you think, created there, but it only proves what science says and what actually is the out of Africa theory. That simply means that that being left Africa earlier than we postulated the previous specimens. Do you understand what I'm saying so far? So, if that's true, then the definition of what I'm trying to show you about what Aboriginal means is got to be true. Just because you're first to a region doesn't make you prime, doesn't make you analogous or indigenous to the region. It simply means that you left where you came from, maybe earlier than the previous known specimen. Does that make sense? Should make sense. Every anthropologist in the world would agree with that. Does it make sense for the white man to lie about any of this now? No. Because the farther you go back, it simply proves that all life emitted from that place. And either life left earlier and earlier than we previously postulated. Aboriginal? I think y'all need to rethink Aboriginal. Lying is the white man's nature indeed. And switching the story up to our people to make them give up being prime, being actually that which is the image of God. The Bible says it, and so have all of our black gurus said it. When they say you're God, that's what they mean. God created you, black men, in the cradle of Africa. And you and nature together created every other being on this planet. You could bet that. And so whether Africa is called toothpaste or hamburger, it don't change a thing. Brother Isaac McCarty says, so the Portuguese are aboriginal to Mexico. The Aztecs are prime. I think we need to get rid of the word aboriginal totally because it does nothing for us. What does it matter if we were first or last when the total story of history says that there is not one continent that there is not black people historically living on, hunting on, gathering on, building on? All of the miniature logic is what's making our black people go way left. And I just explained that to these brothers that had a pre-existing thought in their mind about what aboriginal means. Their thought is aboriginal means that they were made here. That either if they're creationists, God made them here, or if they're atheists, they just popped up here through nature, through evolution, through Earth actually, causing you to be. But how stupid is that? Excuse me, I don't want to insult anybody. How stupid is that? When the definitions and the language that we use, again, like I said, Africa, even if you don't want to use Africa, does that change its geography? Not one bit. If you call Africa Nike, would it change anything? Yes or no, family? No. But when I call Mexico, Mexico, I've literally told you that you need to study when the Mexicans were made. The Mexicans are not Aboriginal. The Mexicans are a combination of you and Spanish people. Spanish people are a child of yours that came out through migration and certain geological events that blocked out light for a long ass time. That's a big conversation in and of itself. And it's so big that white people told you that you're a part of that story, black people. You aboriginals. They told you you went through the dark ages. They told you you came through medieval times. But I'm telling you that you're prime. And that while all of your children were going through changes, adaptations, and mutations through migration and wars and slavery of them, not you, while all of that was going on, you were prime. Not first. You were the catalyst that caused all of those things to be. You and nature. Now, let's go into some of the comments. Let's see. I still see some of the hard-headed brothers saying no. But how can you identify with anything other than being prime, brother? If you're black, your skin even betrays you. If you're saying that you're aboriginal only first, you're like the Spaniard. You're like the white man. That's what they've claimed all over the world. First is not special. It's only special to be the creator. It's only special to be a god. It's only special to be that which is the oldest life form. Not the first to an area. Not the definition of aboriginal. Come on. Come on. Use your brain. Doesn't that make sense? Primary colors. Root of primary and root of primitive. What is it? Prime. You look at a color wheel, you have those red, blue, yellow, I believe it is. And then you look at the secondary colors that it creates. You get your purple and your green and all of that. But in the center of that, the primary color wheel and the combinations, in the center is black. Beautiful combination of the primary. That's called an anomaly. The so-called absence of light is the combination of all that is primary about the color spectrum. Did that make sense to y'all? Is that going too deep, or are you thinking yet? What did the early Europeans describe what they thought when they saw when they traveled here to north and south of the Caribbean? What did they describe? They described what's called pork chop. You dig it? We still use that word in California. Gangsters and savages call suckers and neutrons pork chops. That's what the white man saw when he saw the land that you call yourself indigenous to. He even came here and told you, we're first, we're indigenous, and killed you and changed the story and showed you that there's nothing special about being first to anywhere. To be first means you got to fight to stay first. But I said, when you're original, when you come out of Africa, you ain't got to fight for nothing. All it is your creation. How many times in a layman's term can I say that for you to understand it before we actually talk about something? What color is that? What color is what, brother? Pork chop. What color is that? I don't really care about the color, because when I say black, I'm not really talking about a color. Watch this. Oh, Showtime, man, it's been getting good around here. These brothers want to sell themselves back to the white man. When I say black, I'm not talking about a color in the crayon. I'm talking about an intrinsic principle that governs even the light spectrum. Prime. Prime is before first. When you first to an area, you got to touch it, claim it, and say where you came from, goddammit. I just read the definition of Aboriginal. Prime is not in the fucking definition. Primitive or nothing. It just say first to a region. That don't mean you was created there. And anthropology proves it. Where are your specimens? Where are your oldest specimens, family? In Mexico and in Brazil. El Jabbar. That's not the argument. That's not the case. The case is as big as the world is wide. But you're standing too close to the picture. That's why you're missing all of what I'm saying. Answer my question. I said, where is the oldest specimen in Brazil and or Mexico? And is it older than Africanus robustus, Australopithecus africanus? Is it older? Is the oldest specimen in Mexico and or Brazil older than Australopithecus sediba? Is it older than Australopithecus robustus? Is it even older than the jawbone they found in Israel? And Israel's in Africa. Don't let nobody fuck your head up with that word complex, nor the word Aboriginal. What's the oldest specimen in Brazil, family? Is it older than Sediba africanus? Is it older than robustus? Is it older than any of these hit back, say the movies, right? The fuck are you looking for the oldest pyramid for? And you're not a pyramid. Neither did anybody live in a pyramid, family, or a ziggurat. There's a really old one in Brazil. I think that's Brazil, isn't it? But does that prove anything about prime humanity? Hell no, that just proves who built that first. That's a marker, a history marker. But if you were first there, that means you came from somewhere. If you were first there, that means you came somewhere. If you were first there, that means you came from somewhere. So says history. So says even the newest discovery of the oldest human fossil, a jawbone in Israel. It don't mean that the fossil was made in Israel. That's what science says. That just proves that particular being left Africa earlier than the previous oldest known fossil or type. Are you tracking with me? Stones contain DNA warfare, human DNA. They got your double helix in the base in the basalt of the Olmec heads family. Are y'all tripping now, man? Come on, come on. Stones have DNA now. They got your double helix. They got your shit. Is that what y'all telling me, man? Don't make me laugh, y'all. Come on, come on. You're not a stone. You're not a brick. You're not a piece of wood. You have something in you that what is more prime than even you. What you mirror, the creator. That's why God called you this spirit and image. Because you're the next best thing to him. You black people. You are the gods because you created who? Who you created? You created who you're trying to be. You want to be first, but I told you you're a creator. You're a catalyst. God created you to mirror him on the earth. All of the genetics that come out of you are all of what you see out here. Those are babies. Nobody answered the question I just gave you. And no, rock don't have a double helix. Rock don't have human DNA, family. No, it don't. It has elements of what makes up portions of your DNA as the elements. We have them on the periodic table. But you're not a rock. How can you compare your prime story to the oldest building anywhere on the world? Because I guarantee you the builders of that building were older. The building is first, but it has a catalyst, the creator, right? That's the same intrinsic principle that I'm showing you here. Aboriginal don't make you special. That don't make you any different than the white man, family. You first. You first. But you came from somewhere. Look at the definition. Okay, El Jafar actually says no. Okay, now, okay, I get you. Now answer my question. Okay, let me go back. Yes, we were brown people before. Let me read it right. Yes, were there brown people here in the North, South, and Central America and Caribbeans before slavery? Brother, have I not been here talking to you about the Spanish Inquisition? The Spanish Inquisition created what are called Mexicans and your light-skinned and straight-haired Indians, brother. That denotes a pre-Spanish Inquisition and that denotes a post. That's why I'm telling you, study the Inquisition because you'll get both sides, right? So to answer your question, of course there were black people here. And I gave you a book the other day that proves that. Hold on, slow down. Yes, there were black people here before the Spanish Inquisition. But what kind of black people were they? Come here, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids. That's a book. It says that Moorish philosophers were here. What are Moorish philosophers? Those are black people from Africa teaching science, genetics, mathematics, and even intrinsic sciences like what we call today biology, and even macro studies like astrology and astronomy. I said, come here, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids. Google the book. It shouldn't cost you but $2 now. It ain't even in college curriculum print no more, I don't think. It says that pre-Spanish Inquisition, not only those that were thought to be called today native or Aboriginal, those were not straight-haired, light-skinned Mexicans and these Indians. They were black people. And they were called, among the other subcultures here, Moorish philosophers. Anytime you see Moorish, it denotes that same thing that I've just told you, that principle. That don't mean that you're first. That means you came from somewhere. And we know the Moors are not indigenous to America, to Mexico, to Brazil. Where are the Moors from? All of the Moors would definitely agree with me when they tell you that legally, that definition, Aboriginal, don't make you prime. It just makes you first to a particular region, which denotes you came from somewhere. This all goes back full circle, family. El Jabbar, there is no case closed. You think it's that simple, brother? He said, case closed, fam. Just because there were black people here before the Spanish Inquisition, he said, that's it. But I said, where did those goddamn black people come from? Because they didn't call themselves Aboriginal. Uh-huh. I bet you can't even tell me really what they were, other than the name I told you, Moorish philosophers and a couple other groups. What were they? What were the first groups? And what were some of the sciences that they used? Because I can tell you that the Moorish philosophers brought over here from Central Africa and even from the Dogon culture many aspects of astrology and astronomy and timekeeping, which you got over here on the History Channel. The white people done fooled y'all and told you that the Maya came up with that goddamn calendar, the long count. That's bullshit. I said because you're first to a place don't mean that you were created there. That's not what indigenous means or aboriginal. Aboriginal simply means that you're first. Indigenous doesn't have any much of a difference. Nor native. Everything goes back to Africa. And nothing scientifically, anthropologically, or archaeologically has ever proved anything but a previous leaving of Africa. I just gave you a new scientific discovery, the jawbone. Jabbar, did you go? You agree with that, brother? Well, goddamn, I got to give you honor that you agree with that. I got to say this brother here is not crazy. This brother here does not belong in the crazy corner with the other nuts that don't consider all of these truths. Now, Mayan claimed the clocks were there before their people. The Mayans clock, if they claim the clocks were there, they're not talking about the actual rock. They're talking about the principle of timekeeping. That principle of watching the stars to that degree is present in Africa. And even honed in some of the subcultural African groups, like even the Israelites. Come here, tribe of Issachar. What did the Bible say about you? To be like the sons of Issachar because they knew the times. And the stupid ISUPK got this Issachar as the Mexicans and shit on their dumbass tribe chart. Whatever. At the end of the day, that timekeeping, it came from where you originated from, which is Africa. And one more time, let's ask the brother that agreed with me. Let's see if we can agree on this, family. Does the geographic position of Africa change if I call it toilet paper? Brother, do you agree with that? Because the brother was so emotional on the phone, he called in afterward. And that brother Michael Edwards, and don't be calling yourself African and blah, blah. You speak English. It should be common sense that no matter what you call Africa, that's not going to change where Australopithecus sediba was found. That's not going to change where Australopithecus africanus was found. That's not going to change where Robustus was found. That's not going to change where this jawbone was found that I'm talking about, the new find. So what is it, semantics? Or is it miniature logic that people are getting caught up into and thinking that's real righteous truth? to sell your origin, your godship, your godhood in this earth. The fact that God said, even in the Torah, that you and that woman are the likeness and image of the Most High God. And you want to let somebody demote you to being first to Mexico. You discovered it first. You and the white man. Y'all fighting over this continent. You and America's Vespucci and Christopher Columbus and the Aboriginals. They fighting over who was here first. I said that's what the definition denotes. First to a region. To a region denotes that you come from somewhere, man. How many times I got to say that? So come on, family. If we're dealing with cultures that were so advanced as the Dogon, to be doing on a macro large scale astrology and astronomy, to the degree that today people are wondering how in the fuck did they do that? You're telling me that the origin of the Maya calendar came from over here? When there were people on this earth that technologically advanced, spiritually advanced, really. The clocks were a warning, indeed. Clock did not come from Africa. No, it didn't. I said the principle did. Just like I said, the Moorish philosophers that were over here pre-Spanish Inquisition came from Africa. The principle came from there. Them rocks that the Olmec heads made, that basalt was from Mexico. That clock that the motherfucking Mayans made the shit out of, the material was from Mexico. Or from wherever they were at the particular time. But the principle came from the origin of man, who were the first to look up and see that sun. And it weren't Mexicans. They weren't Aboriginal people first to this land. They were the people that were called really by God, God. God damn. Does not the Torah tell you that you're the spirit and image of God? Didn't your grandma and them talk about spitting image? What did the spitting image mean? You're just like it. Not something like it. Just like it. Boy, you're the spitting image of your daddy. What's the Torah telling you about yourself? That you're Aboriginal? Or is it telling you that you created all of these other goddamn people that got you enslaved today? What is the Torah telling you? What is Africa telling you? What are the bones in the earth telling you? And y'all still ain't answer my question, Aboriginal people. One more time, I'm going to give it again. What is the oldest specimen in South America? What is the oldest specimen in Mexico? And can it compare to Australopithecus sediba, Australopithecus africanus, Australopithecus robustus, and that goddamn jawbone? Nobody's going to answer that? Y'all talking about the other books. Brother talked about the other book, the anthropology book. But I said get this one. Get the essentials of anthropology. This is good for you. This won't kill you. This will heal you. Nobody gonna answer that question? None of the these Aboriginal people. Y'all don't have an answer for that? Because that's the same shit I did on Garfield's show with the flat earth people. When I asked for your empirical data, your numbers, your proof. Coughing up dust and shit, family. I'm naming Neanderthals. Wow. Wow. Goddamn. So where did the Neanderthal specimens, where were they found at? Where were they found at? Where were the most of them found at, family? Tell me that. Because you good at throwing out bad facts, but you're not good at answering questions. Yeah, it's still light out here, family. I'm telling you, in California, it's back to the future, family. Y'all got to come back to the future, man. This shit proves that the goddamn flat earth people, yeah, killer whale, spewing up lava and shit right in flat earth's face, spitting in flat earth's face. Overstand. You feel me? If you don't use observational science and the sciences that are established here, the white people can't steal. They can't lie to you about anthropology no more. Don't y'all realize that? Y'all telling black people to drop out of college, and I'm telling you right now is the worst time to do that. These books is filled with truth because they done lied so much that they can't lie anymore about you. Nothing in life is flat. Nothing in life or nature or in the subatomic particle field is flat. Nothing. It's only flat when it comes in contact with another object. This earth is not flat. You're not a flat earther, thank God, Elder Boy. I like you, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any darkness in your heart. I don't see argumentative and crazy shit in you. And when I do the Google Hangout, I'm gonna invite you. So you keep coming back and keep learning and keep thinking, brother. And I want to leave y'all with this. I want to leave you with this, especially you. Especially you. Know that even that name that you got, I have it too. Mikael El Jabbar, right? That's a very powerful term. And I've been telling you that term since the beginning of this stream. Even God called you God. There's even more than one place in the Bible. Brother, if you're first, then you're the creator. You have a creator. But all of these beings on earth are here because of you, whether you've been righteous or unrighteous. Whether you've been true to this earth and true to your duty here or not. Whether your duty has been thrown and perverted, whether you are to relate to your woman or relate to something you don't know. God put you here to be his representative, not to be first, because first is actually second. So yeah, man, know who you are, brother. And what I'm saying to this brother is common across the board for all of us, family. Let's not put on the shirt that people want us to put on, or let's not stand too close to the picture. Let's stand back far away from the picture so we can get the bird's eye view, because our story is that rich, even in slavery, family. They tell us all of these crazy anomalies. Indeed, Brother El Jabbar. They tell us all these crazy anomalies that don't make sense in our story. Like they told us all of the slaves couldn't talk to each other, so we had to teach our English. That's not what history says. History says that Islam was an empire pre-transatlantic slave trade in Africa called Songhai. All of those people and tribes had subcultures, which mean at the base they were at least bilingual, which everybody in Africa still is damn near. But that means they had a subculture and they had a overriding culture, just like you have today in America, whether you want to believe it or not. This country was founded upon so-called trashy-ass Christian principles. And for all intents and purposes, it is documented as a Christian country. But we are Israelites, we're Moors, we're Kemet, we're nation of gods and herbs, atheist Negroes, now these Aboriginal. In every nation construct, you're going to have, excuse me, several subcultures. And you're going to have lingua francas, and you're going to have cultural linguistics, and you're going to even have dialect anomalies and connections. That shit ain't easy as what the white people come tell you, oh, y'all Negroes can talk to each other. That's a lie. if people came out of Gambia, then they all spoke at least some form of Arabic. That's what history would tell you. But the white man tell you that no, y'all couldn't talk to each other. That's bullshit. You dig it? What's up with the pancreas elongated cone heads in Peru that are also in the Caspian Sea? Well, they have long haired people in Egypt. Look at Akhenaten. Akhenaten. The History Channel say Akhenaten was damn near motherfucking tall white alien or some stupid shit. But family, that does not mean that he was an alien because History Channel said it. You understand that? There are people that have cone heads today because their mothers make them cone headed. And they wrap their heads and shit. That don't mean they're alien, family. I had a brother. There's another calling. Hold on, y'all. Hold on one second. Brother Side what's happening, man? I'm on live. How you doing, man?
Oh, hey, I was just looking like, is that a new video that idiot did?
Which one? Which idiot?
The fool that I was looking at. It's talking about the Hebrew's name got it all messed up, and it's called Sarnetta.
Yes, brother, that's a new one. That's a new one. That's a new one. Look
Let me go see you live, man. Let me go check you out.
Okay, my brother. I'm about to wind it up now, though, but check it out.
All right, yeah, call me when you finish. I'm going to go check you out, though.
All right, I will, my brother.
All right.
Peace. But what was I saying? Y'all maybe maybe goddamn forget. The back of the Parker's clothes are missing. Yeah, just because you have a cone head does not mean that you're from another planet. You know what I mean? That don't mean that. I was about to say this. I had a brother we grew up with. We not only had, and I'm gonna let y'all go in a minute, but just hang out for a minute. Hold on. The History Channel. We had a brother, it was twins. One, I think we called them Piss and Shit, and I forget their real names. I only met them a couple times. They were older than me. Piss and Shit. And that was their name. And we also had a brother at school. We used to call him Egghead, right? When I tell you this brother, y'all, he wasn't retarded. He wasn't misshapen like, and fucked up like that. He was a normal brother. But this cat's head in the back, family, was at least 7 inches past the base of his head. I promise you, this was in Louisiana, man. I swear. And if anybody could have been called a mixed hybrid, it would have been Egghead, man. But that don't mean that you're an alien. Because I asked the other question, and I'm telling you, when you have questions that don't, or thoughts that don't sit right with you, here's the way to deal with them. Bear it out to its least implication. Ask questions about the question. Here's the question to ask yourself about that. What the History Channel be saying and shit. Where are all the dead alien bodies? If they came down here and humans been warring to the tune that we're even there, that the History Channel even talking about, we done had nuclear weapons before. Why there ain't no dead aliens? Huh? Or do aliens live forever? Do their planes ever crash? Do they ever have a bad day? Where the goddamn alien bones at in Egypt that made all them Egyptians build the pyramids, huh? Where are all of the bones, alien bones, in Mesopotamia around the great ziggurat of Earth? Where are all the bones in Brazil that built the pyramid down there? Where are all the goddamn bones around where those early so-called natives were killing each other and sacrificing each other and shit? Where's the alien bones at? They only in Area 51, family. I said, when you thinking about bullshit that don't sit right with you, bear it out to its least implication. There are no goddamn aliens that built no pyramids. Nowhere, family. And the Smithsonian basement does have some goddamn secrets. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I think it's 6 or 7 years ago, they were still circulating fake pictures of giant bone relics, people with giantism, and fake ones. The real ones and the fake ones. Guess what they did with all the real ones? Snatched them off the motherfucking market. Snatched all the pictures, the pictures off the internet and all of the bones off of display. They'll tell you they're there, but they won't let you see them. They'll only let you see the fake shit. And I told people about this 3 or 4 years ago, and they said, nah, man, the Smithsonian wouldn't lie like that. And now the Smithsonian admits that they have the shit. I'm not talking about aliens. I'm talking about giantism in humans. Even the Bible talks about that. What did it say God wanted Joshua to go into Canaan to do? To kill more black people? Fuck no, that wasn't a prime objective. The prime objective was to clean out the land of a genetic malady of giantism. Giants all over goddamn Canaan. Not aliens. Mutated humans. Humans that lived over from a time of different atmospheric pressure. Y'all don't know nothing about atmospheric pressure and what it does to genetics. But I'm telling you. Atmospheric pressure and feces will cause what you see in the Bible, where it talks about Joshua and them went over there to spy out the land, and they saw men carrying grapes as big as your head. Grapes, one grape, a bushel of grapes with 2 men carrying it. Mutations in the atmosphere and mutations in the genetics of people and animals can cause all of that shit. All it takes is a catalyst, and your land will be overrun with animals shitting too much. If you're not killing a certain animal and they're shitting everywhere, what you think you're going to have an abundance of? There's still giantism in some humans around the earth, family. So where all the goddamn giant bones at? Y'all used to watch Andre the Giant and shit. Where all the people like Andre the Giant? Was he the first and only motherfucker like that? Come on, man. Y'all are not fucking aliens, family. I said you have inside you the potential to create any and every goddamn thing. I was telling Daniela even about adenosine. Come on, man. Adenosine will make you fall into a motherfucking coma. And that's the same way that this shit happened that you're talking about with the Noah's Ark and the animals. It don't take a miracle. All it takes is God, which is scientist, which is a great scientist, the most extreme scientist. Adenosine. All animals have it, even you. Family, we got to learn how to think. And we've got to stop listening to the goddamn History Channel, family. They telling you that your greatest accomplishments were people that weren't people. And at best, if there were aliens, the History Channel is saying that you was even slaves to the aliens. Fuck. Are you listening to what these people telling you? If you working side by side with aliens, goddammit, that means that you were really their slaves because you were building. Are you gonna be the Jewish man slave, ISUPK? You gonna be the white man slave for his 501c3, and now you gonna tell everybody that the aliens came and they made the Africans in Egypt, in the Sudan, and in Mesopotamia, and in Brazil, and in Mexico work to their fingers to the bone. You making us be slaves again? Shit, even in real slavery, there was masses bones. Y'all gotta stop the bullshit, family. Stop the bullshit, please. Get back to your story, man. Yeah, it's comedy, man. Straight comedy, bro. goddamn comedy. You got the Passion of the Christ, a white man, he got blue eyes, running around in the goddamn desert with no suntan lotion or umbrella. Man, black people should have been crazy around the world when they did Charlton Heston and the Ten Commandments. Even if you wasn't religious, you should have been mad. You should have been saying, you motherfuckers are disrespecting me. You think I'm that stupid? Oh, man, along with Tarzan. Real shit, man. Let me let y'all go, man. It's been real. And please consider the things that I've said, y'all. I'm black. LOL, nah, it's dark. You see that? And let me end it with this one. In the beginning, thank you much. Thank you, Cranston Cooper. Much love to you, indeed, sir. Indeed, my family brother. What is that? C5. What is that on your logo? That's nice. Made me confuse my words. I'm trying to see your logo and tell you much love. I also got tongue tied looking at your logo. But watch this, family. The Torah says in the beginning, or at the beginning, or the beginning of your dimension, there were a few prime core elements. Listen to this, family. Water, consciousness, or spirit, motion, in that sense, kinetic energy of the spirit and consciousness moving above the waters. And what is the last element? A lot of people hate to call this an element. When I'm telling you, it's prime, god damn it. Darkness. Ain't that what even Elijah Muhammad and them had wrong? They had that part of it right. I would go as far as to say triple darkness, but I said those core elements were there in the beginning. What y'all scared of being black for? What you ashamed of being black for? I just told you in an hour and 7 minutes why it's so important that you not give yourself up to be a creation when God made you to be the creator in this realm. He said you are his image. You're prime. Peace, family. Backpack, peace, family.